Just a quick reminder to those that are in the chambers, if you are planning on speaking and you get to the mic, there is a button on the top left if you need to higher or lower it to your height. And please make sure you speak directly into the mic. Thank you.
Okay, well, welcome to September 3rd Planning Commission meeting. All members are present. At this time, I'll ask that you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Per the city meeting rules and procedures, public comments are generally limited to 5 minutes or less if a large number of speakers are anticipated, or if approved by the chair. Speakers desiring answers to questions should direct them to the Planning Commission, and if relevant, the commission may direct them to staff. Speakers can also follow up directly with staff during regular city business hours. Please file a speaker's card with the administrative secretary on the form provided at the back of the chambers. During this portion of the meeting, those in the council chamber are permitted to speak on items that are not on the agenda. Public comments for scheduled agenda items should wait until that time. Zoom participation during the general public meeting, public comments period will not be accepted. Please note that the commission's actions are final unless an appeal is filed with the city clerk within 10 calendar days.
Chair Roberts, I have one speaker card for general public comment. Danny Dorman.
Okay. Mr. Dorman?
Good evening, y'all. Actually, I'm just going to do one of my freestyle rants because it looks like it's going to be an easy day today. But there are a couple of things I'd at least like to throw out there. One, and this is more Chairperson Roberts to ask staff, and that has to do with my favorite subject, Zoom comments in open meeting. Now, I know the council enacted, they're not. Yeah, you have to be here if you want to do open comment. All right, and it is what it is. But as the chairperson, I would think that you have the latitude, not today, of course, but maybe for the next meeting, allow open comments. because there are people, as I've said over and over and over again, there are people who want to be heard, but they don't want to come down here. And especially with Bridalgate coming up again, or just wanting to talk about things like Bridalgate, but they don't want to succumb to the smoke and the mirrors that usually happens before you get a chance to come up here and speak. So, you know me, I'm a big freedom of speech guy, and everyone has the right to be heard. That's the thing about freestyle. I forgot what I was going to bring up next. Well, since I can't remember, I fully endorse Chairperson Roberts for District 1 of our fair city. Even if I didn't know her, and I know her from here, but she has shown her willingness to do what is needed for the city. Now, actually, all of you guys do. You might as well just, whatever money you're making, you might as well just go ahead and give it to charity, because I know it's not enough. 6 hours here, and it's crazy. But you have demonstrated your willingness to do what's needed for the city. What bothers me are when you have opposition that comes up, they poke their head up once every 4 years. And either they're backed by some type of machine, whether that machine is Republican, Democrat, chamber, it's still a machine nonetheless. And the person that's running against you is a prime example of that. I don't remember ever seeing her at any of the meetings since I heard her voice last in 2020. So I wanted to take the time to fully endorse, and anyone who lives in District 1, vote at least once for her. And lastly, Bridalgate. I don't know if you guys are going to see it again, to be honest. I'm not quite sure what the mechanisms are. If it does come back, please be advised, it will be the 4th of 5. And the 5th, after the 5th, they can do whatever they want. And so if it does come to you, and if you have any questions whatsoever, and I wish the council had done this, if you have any questions whatsoever, continue it. Because, and again, you may have to talk to our city attorney about that, but it's my understanding that if you continue it, it's still the same count. And and that actually goes for anything now, because builder's remedy is becoming more and more popular. But particularly Bridalgate, because they are coming up on their 4th one. So if it comes your way, if you have any questions at all, whether it's staff or the, I almost said plaintiff, but Freudian slip, whomever it is, continue it, get the answers. And I'll talk to you guys in a few minutes about vendors.
Okay, thank you.
At this time, Chair Roberts, we have no other speaker cards for general public comment at this time.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, at this time, I'm going to speak to the consent calendar. There is a set of minutes for the regular meeting on August 6, 2024. Is there any discussion, or do I have a motion?
I make a motion to adopt the consent calendar.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Very good. Well, we'll move into our public hearings. And at this time, we have a public hearing for a CUP, or conditional use permit, for the Athletic Edge Stunt Tumble Facility. A staff report will be given by Miguel Contreras. Contreras.
Thank you, Commissioner, or Chairperson. Good evening, Commission. Good evening, members of the public. It's Miguel, City of Brentwood Planning Division, here to present Athletic Edge, which is a CUP 24-005, requesting indoor recreation facility. The location would be 470 Harvest Park, which has a general plan land use designation of general commercial. It is within the PD 12 sub-area C zoning district. And specifically, it's the two southern suites highlighted in this aerial. The specific request is to establish an indoor recreation facility, generally known as stunt and tumble, along with other uses. Just for clarification, stunts, form of cheerleading to my understanding, but without the cheers necessarily, more the actual physical exercise of it. Once more, it would be located in Suite G and H. It is proposed in 4,300 square suite. It would be held Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. The actual operation of it, so the applicant's not proposing any exterior changes that would require design review or anything like that. The applicant proposes to have a maximum of 10 students during regular business hours. So just to clarify, these 10 students would be there when the other tenant office spaces would be in business. So that's typically the maximum. The more intense classes, which would be stunt or typically or generally held after their neighboring tenants are off hours. Circulation, so parents and what's called students would be ingressing off of Harvest Park Drive. They have a drop-off point as highlighted in the image, and egressing onto Harvest Park Drive and taking off on Brentwood Boulevard. The site currently has adequate parking to accommodate this use. And the actual specific conditional use permit would be for indoor recreation with hours of operations Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Maximum employees at one time would be 3. The facility offers stunt, tumble, mommy and me classes, and pop-up clinics. And just for clarification, pop-up clinics are kind of like seminars where if a student wants to practice a specific exercise or move, if you will, they have these clinics where the student can sign up, and they allocate an hour to focus on that. Maximum number of students for tumble, it would be 10. For stunt itself would be 24. For the pop-up clinics, it would be 10, and there would be no overlap between any of the classes. The project would be consistent with the general plan land use designation of general commercial. It would be consistent with the PD 12 subarea C, provided that a conditional use permit is granted by this commission. The project does qualify for categorical exemption class 1 and class 32 under CEQA. These are for existing facilities and for infill development. And staff would recommend that the Planning Commission adopt as condition resolution number 24-037, approving conditional use permit 24-005. And staff's available for any questions. This would conclude my presentation.
Well, thank you very much. At this time, does the Planning Commission have any clarifying questions? Commissioner Spaulding?
In the presentation, you mentioned adequate parking. Can you just clarify that?
So when the building was built, it was allocated 34 parking stalls based on office and warehouse ratio of uses. the site itself based on, or the two suites themselves based on this ratio would require 12 parking stalls. The applicant's proposing having maximum 10 students during that high needed time where there's other tenants in the center, if you will. So therefore, it wouldn't be creating that conflict since there's only going to be 10 students and they're already allocated 12 parking stalls. And then for the higher impact classes where they have 24 students, those are at off hours. The applicant did submit a business, a table with all the surrounding businesses and their hours of operations, and they all close at 5. So that would eliminate that conflict with parking. And the applicant has also indicated that the site is underutilized as well, and there seems to be parking available as it is.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any more clarifying questions? Commissioner Floyd? Brandt? Okay, very good, and I don't either. Okay, great. Well, at this time, the Planning Commission will open up to the public. The public is permitted to address the Planning Commission. Remarks are limited to 5 minutes per person, except for the applicant, who will have 10. Does the applicant wish to address the commission?
Can you hear us? Okay.
Okay.
Hi, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Shaylin Burke. I am one of the owners of Athletic Edge. I currently live locally in Brentwood. I work at Sutter Delta full-time. I have been coaching for a little over 20 years. I have 3 daughters that were very involved in the community, and this is Jamie.
Good evening, board, everybody in attendance tonight. Thank you for all the support. I also live here locally. My full-time job, I am an elementary school teacher here in our local district. I have a 2-year-old son, and I've been coaching cheer and tumbling for 12 years now.
So I actually coached Jamie at Legends All-Stars. That was a longtime business here, closed during COVID. She also was employed after I started coaching her. We both coached there until they went out of business during COVID. When everything shut down during COVID, we were constantly getting phone calls from families that we had coached for a long time looking for a facility to do tumbling and what their needs are. And in Brentwood, we just don't have what they need. So in May 2023, we started a tumbling class, and we've been renting from East County Performing Arts just floor space. We've definitely outgrown the space there. In July of 2023, we started a stunt program. Stunt is a newer sport that all our high schools have, and Jamie's gonna talk a little bit more about that. But in the last year, our program has grown tremendously, and we think this is a huge need for our community.
I just want to take a minute to talk a little bit about stunt, the sport, because not a lot of people know what it is as it's still growing. It's a form of cheerleading, but in the traditional cheerleading, you see them cheerleading on the sidelines, or competitive cheer, where they just have a 2-minute, 30-second routine that they perform. They have the same routine all season long. For stunt, the teams learn up to 18 routines, depending on the age level, and every team in the same division learns the same routines, and they compete in a head-to-head format. A lot of times you'll see it tournament style, so it'll be in a bracket. There's also the opportunity to earn scholarships for college, which is the best part about the sport for us as coaches, seeing our athletes exceed at that level. In the past year of coaching stunt the sport, we've actually had 5 of our athletes receive scholarships. For each sport or youth activity here in our community, the community has plenty of options to choose from. We have 0 stunt programs, club stunt programs in our community. Our athletes that we have now were formerly traveling to Concord and Livermore to play stunt. This season, we've been able to offer 4 stunt teams ranging from ages 5 all the way to 18, and we hope that we can get this facility and offer even more stunt teams.
All of our local high schools have stunt the sport. It's a spring season sport. It goes from February to May. So like any other sport, if you play baseball in high school and then you're playing off season to keep your skills up, that's what we want to offer for stunt for our high school girls. So if they're doing stunt the sport in high school, then they can do off season with us to keep their skills up. They're also working with other high schools and other teammates, building up lifelong skills that they'll use for the rest of their life. It's also great for the youth that want to do stunt in high school, so they can start doing it at younger age and get the skills they'll need to make the high school teams and then go on to college with it.
For the last year and a half, we've been on the hunt for our own facility since we've opened our program. We've been extremely grateful to East County Performing Arts Center for letting us have the opportunity to grow our business. And it's a great problem to have, but we've just outgrown the space. And all of our classes have wait lists. We get emails every day to add them, and unfortunately, we're having to turn people away at this point. The type of facility we need high ceilings because we're throwing people in the air, and most things that are zoned for our use don't have that, and this space does. We've been working with the city of Brentwood for the last year, where we have exhausted every available zone location, and none of them will work for our business except for this one.
We've put our heart and soul into this business. Both of us have full-time jobs. We both have families. We don't do this for the money. We don't do it because we have a ton of extra time. We do it because it's our passion. And we hope that you can see that our passion is in this program that we've built. Two of the girls that coached for us over summer, they both attend college with full ride scholarships doing the sport they love. And we've made a huge impact on their life. They've made a huge impact on our life. We've coached them since they were 3 years old. Wow. So it's just very rewarding, and we've decided to share it with the community.
Lastly, we just want to say thank you for taking the time to listen to us tonight and consider our permit. And we hope that you can see how passionate we are about tumbling and stunt and the kids that we get to interact with every day. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, at this time, we have anyone on Zoom?
Chairperson Roberts, would you like to see if the commission has any questions for the applicant first?
Oh, yes. Questions for the applicant?
Not at this time.
Commissioner Spaulding?
All right, we'll go into speaker cards for those here in person, then we'll go to Zoom. So those who would like to speak in Zoom, please start to raise your hands. Our first speaker up is Lindsay Lanham.
It's on. Okay. Hello, I stand before you today as the parent of a young athlete whose journey has been profoundly impacted by the opportunities, or lack thereof, available in our community. My daughter was once a competitive gymnast. After leaving that world, we struggled to find a place where she could continue to develop her skills, stay active, and remain engaged in a sport she loved. That is, until Athletic Edge opened its doors. This facility has been a godsend, offering her and many other young athletes a space to continue their training, hone their skills, and stay connected to the sports that bring them joy. But Athletic Edge is more than just a gym. It's a hub for various athletes, from gymnasts to cheerleaders, dancers, and those involved in the rapidly growing sport of stunt. This diversity is key. Stunt in particular is an emerging sport that offers exciting opportunities for our youth. It's gaining traction at both high school and college levels, and having a facility like Athletic Edge available to our community means that local athletes can start early, get exposure to the sport, and be better prepared for the opportunities that lie ahead. However, the unfortunate reality is that Athletic Edge is outgrowing their current space. Their business has grown significantly, but due to the limitations of their current facility, they are unable to accommodate all the athletes who want to train there. There isn't just a missed business opportunity, it's a missed opportunity for our children. Approving the use of an industrial area for gym space would allow Athletic Edge to expand, and in doing so, reach more athletes within our community. Moreover, the new space would allow Athletic Edge to provide both a spring floor and a dead floor, catering to the specific needs of different athletes. This kind of specialized equipment is crucial for safe and effective training, ensuring that our children not only improve, but do so in a manner that minimizes risk of injury. The approval of this industrial area for gym space is not just about supporting a business. It's about investing in the health, development, and future of our children. It's about providing them with the resources they need to pursue their passions, stay active, and achieve their full potential, whether in gymnastics, cheer, dance, stunt, or any other athletic endeavor. I urge you to approve this request, knowing that you're not just making a decision about land use, you're making a decision that will positively impact the lives of countless young athletes in our community. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Next, we have Mila Lanham.
Hello, my name is Mila Lanham. I am 10 years old and I'm here today because I want to tell you how important Athletic Edge is to me and why we need more gym space for it. A couple of years ago, I decided to quit gymnastics, which was really hard because I loved it. But then I found Athletic Edge and it became a place where I could keep practicing and growing my tumbling skills safely. I felt so good to be back in the gym doing what I love. At Athletic Edge, I was also introduced to a new sport called stunt. I absolutely love stunt because I get to fly and tumble, and it's so much fun. And here's the thing, we don't have enough space to practice as much as we want. If you let us have more gym space, it will mean so much to me and my teammates. We'll have more time to practice and get better at tumbling and stunting. Plus, with more hours and days to practice, we could become even more competitive in stunt. I really love my tumbling coach, Shay, and my stunt coach, Jamie. They help me get better, and having more space would mean they can help me even more. Please, please approve the gym space for Athletic Edge. It's not just a building, it's a place where I can keep doing what I love, learn new things, and have fun with my teammates. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Next, we have Trina Wallace.
I know, don't follow that. That was really good. Good evening. My name is Trina Wallace. I've been a Brentwood resident for 24 years. I started coaching in 2005 at Freedom High School, BOYFL, East County Lions, Adams Middle School, Heritage, and Liberty. So I've been involved with all of the programs here in this community. I've watched the evolution of cheer. I've watched the comp teams and the respect and envy that the girls in this county have. If you've never been to a cheer competition, our girls are well respected. Our athletes are well respected, and they're good. They put in the time, they want to win, they want to be good. And it starts at that age or younger. There were no opportunities when I started coaching for stunt. Stunt was not even, there was just sideline cheer. You graduate and you may make your college team as a sideline cheerleader, maybe. Now cheer is a sport and stunt is a sport, and there are opportunities for these athletes to get a scholarship, which was mentioned. I work for a company part-time called the Spirit Network. They do competitions throughout the country. And it hurts my heart when I see girls from this community on teams from Livermore, on teams from Concord, because there isn't anything here for them. Now we have something here for them. Jamie, Shay, and team, I've coached some of them. My daughter has been through some of their programs, and they are my legacy. And I hold them to that standard. And I tell all the girls that I coach that when you leave here, I will be an advocate for you, but I don't do this for everybody. I'll do it for them. And when I see them with these young girls, I was able to go and watch what they did, and I was impressed. One of my coaching partners is here, and it's something that she and I had talked about doing, but we've aged out, and we have to give it to these young people. One of my cheer parents is here. She was my cheer parent advocate for me, and she knows that I have high expectations. And like I said, I don't speak like this for everyone, but I will speak on their behalf. And this is something this community needs. You have no idea how much of a powerhouse East County area is for cheer and stunt. And if you don't know, we invite you. I'm sure they would invite you to come watch and come check them out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Skylar Fye. And if you could just raise that mic a little bit, please.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I just want to say thank you for giving me the chance to speak today about the incredible impact our STEP program has had on my life and the life of so many young athletes. I'm both a dedicated athlete in this program and a coach for the young girls, and today I just wanted to kind of share how this program has not only shaped my athletic journey, but has also inspired me to help develop the next generation of STEM athletes. Being a part of this STEM program has truly changed my life, and it's allowed me to continue my passion for my sport outside of the high school season. The extra training and competition time have been essential for my growth as an athlete. I'm excited to share that my hard work has led to multiple opportunities, including 2 Division I offers, and after careful consideration, I said with Cal Baptist University, a team with an amazing 80-0 record, and I've also received multiple D2 and D3 offers. Thanks to the skills and experience I gained through this program. This program is not only about my own success, and as a coach for young girls in our community, I've seen how this program can change lives. Coaching these young girls has been one of the most rewarding experiences for me. I've watched them grow, not just as stunt performers, but as individuals. Our program gives them a safe place to build their skills, gain confidence, and learn the value of teamwork and dedication. As a coach, I try to pass on the same passion and commitment that I've received, and seeing these young athletes achieve these goals and fall in love with the sport that I cherish so deeply is incredibly fulfilling. And it's not just about teaching them the techniques and the routines, it's about giving them a sense of pride and purpose that will help them in the long run, both on and off the mat. That is why securing a dedicated building for our stunt program is so important. It will give us the space and resources we need to improve our training and support our athletes, and also allow us to reach more people in community. This building will also ensure that we can keep nurturing young talent and spreading the love for this sport. We will be able to open doors to opportunities like the ones that I've been fortunate enough to receive. To wrap up, I would just like to say that this program has been a cornerstone of my development as an athlete and a coach, and it has given me incredible opportunities and allowed me to make a positive impact on the lives of young girls who share my passion for my sport. I urge you to support our request for this building so we can continue to build on this success and inspire future generations. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, I have no other speaker cards for those here in person. We'll go to Zoom. If anyone would like to speak on this item, please raise your hand now. Chairperson Roberts, we have no hands raised.
All right, thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, well, at this time, do I have a motion to close public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, so let's have a discussion, commissioners. Commissioner Johnson.
I just got to say, I'm so proud of you, and I'm sitting up here. It's a good time to be a commissioner. That's all I have to say for right now. It's a good time to be a commissioner. Very proud of you.
Okay. Commissioner Spaulding?
So I don't have any concerns about the CUP. I'll just add that as a husband of a former cheerleader and a father of a college athlete who played women's basketball, and another one who now played high school basketball but now works for the Warriors, I think it's fantastic to see a facility potentially come into Brentwood like this to help girls pursue their dreams, and obviously boys as well. But I think particularly children and kids, teenagers need a safe space to build their confidence, because it's, even if they don't make it to their ultimate goal of college athletics, I think it helps them with their life journey. So certainly supportive of this application.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Floyd?
Thank you, Chair Roberts. Yes, thank you everybody for coming out here and talking to us today. It's really heartwarming to have the chance to hear something that gives us, a sense of optimism and hope. We kind of live in a time where that's not always the case. So really appreciated it. I'm really glad that we see an application in front of us today that offers something to Brentwood's youth. We don't have enough for them to do, and this looks like an excellent program, and I have no concerns. Thank you.
Commissioner Brandt?
Yeah, I think I'll echo a lot of what's been said already. Also sincerely appreciate all y'all coming out here tonight to stand for something that's important for you. It's really important as a life skill, as well as, to communicate your point. And I think it's been well received thus far. I think that it appears that a facility of this nature meets your sort of width needs, but more particularly the height needs. And if you know, you're trying to do more advanced gymnastics and you know, moves of this nature, it makes sense that you want to go up as much as you want to go wide, right? We had, I think, a total of 69 emails. That was my last count. So it's like, I read every single one of them, I promise. You know, also to say, it's great that y'all were using the EC Pack space. It's a really, if you guys don't know, it's like, it's kind of a springboard, no pun intended, for you know, kids' activities. They do stuff for really little kids up to, you know, as they said, up to 18. And so it's great to see that you've been so successful that you need to secure a larger space. I'm always talking about in the community how important it is that we have a breadth of options for Brentwood residents to participate in kid-friendly businesses within Brentwood, and it's admirable to see you experiencing such success and then keeping it here. In addition, I was going to say one other thing. Yeah, the fact that it's a indoor facility that's also air conditioned, I think is fantastic for our blazing hot summers as of today. You know, it's almost 100, I think. And it does give parents that kind of option. So yeah, thank you.
Okay. Well, I am going to echo what my commissioners have communicated as well. And what I'm really, really excited about for you two is that you can now open up that waiting list. And I'm sure there are going to be quite a few people celebrating this opportunity. I'm an athlete. I played basketball, I ran track, I did the whole kit caboodle, and a mom of 2. And there's nothing like having a facility nearby without having to drive miles away to put your children in a program that works to build their self-esteem, but more importantly, just to get their body in shape so that they can have it for a good long while. So that being said, I am ecstatic for you. I am happy that all of you have come out to support these young ladies, but more importantly, to support the children who are also residents of making Brentwood a great place. This is the attraction that we have here in Brentwood. It's this kind of activity and these kinds of pathways that kind of, yeah, it makes it all right. And I heard someone say something about jealousy. So yeah, let them continue to be jealous, right? I like that. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and entertain a motion. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay, very good. Please do.
I make a motion to adopt resolution number 24-037, approving the conditional use permit number 24-005, subject to certain findings and conditions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion passes. Congratulations. Okay, fantastic. I like it when it works out. All right, well now at this point in time, we're going to move on to the conditional use permit for Boat Pros 2,000 square foot auxiliary maintenance and warranty service area. And I'm going to let Miguel Contreras present his report to us. Please do so.
Through the chair, if I may, real quick, Miguel. Just as a heads up for those, if you do exit the building, please be very quiet on your way out so we can continue with the business items.
Thank you. Miguel, one moment. So just let the commission and public know that I do know the owner of the building, do not know the applicant, and I have no financial interests tied to either the owner or the applicant, and therefore I will not be recusing myself tonight.
And you can make it a fair and unbiased.
I can make a fair and unbiased ruling.
Mr. Miguel.
Thank you, Chairperson. Once more, I'm here to present Boat Pros Warranty Service Center, which is conditional use permit 24-004, which is located at 8130 Brentwood Boulevard. It is within the Brentwood Boulevard specific plan, and it is specifically within the Commercial Office Industrial Residential, or COIR, zoning district of the specific plan. The building is highlighted in yellow within the red enclosed parcel off of Brentwood Boulevard. The specific request is for the applicant to establish a light industrial use, boat repair, in the form of a maintenance warranty center, which is going to be ancillary to an existing showroom / dealer boat. The service center would be 2,000 square feet. So there are no exterior changes proposed with this application. There is a proposed pickup and drop-off time of 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. The applicant would like to revisit these hours of operation and address the commission during his time to see if there is considerations for longer hours. The customers would ingress onto the property off of Brentwood Boulevard. There would be no impacts to Spruce Street, which is the residential street south of the lot. And the customer would drop off the boat in front of the existing building, and the applicant would transfer the boat to the rear and bring it in. Same thing, there would be adequate parking based on the parking ratios that are required for this type of use and the neighboring types of uses on the lot. So the specific conditional use permit is once more light industrial use. There will be no outdoor storage of any kind, including boats or tools or anything of the sort related to the business. There would be no impacts to Spruce Street, which is the residential street south of the lot. There would be scheduled pickup and drop-off times. Once more, the applicant would like to address you regarding this. And there would be no air tools being used, which are the loud tools that you typically hear on the auto repair shops. So the tools that the applicant use are generally hand tools and small electrical tools like drills. So the use is consistent with the Brentwood Boulevard specific plan, and it would also be consistent with the COIR zoning district. The project does qualify as a Class 1 and Class 32 exemption under CEQA, which is for existing facilities and infill development. And staff would recommend that the Planning Commission adopt as conditioned Resolution 24-036, approving CUP 24-004. And that would conclude staff's presentation if there's any questions.
Well, thank you. Are there any clarifying questions for Mr. Miguel? Commissioner Johnson?
Do you know if they were going to be changing any fluids from the boats?
I would defer that question to the applicant.
Okay.
Commissioner Spaulding?
No questions at this time.
Commissioner Floyd?
No questions, thank you.
Commissioner Brandt?
Mr. Contreras, the light industrial classification, and that came from staff? That was staff's assessment?
That was a staff's assessment, yes, because of the nature of the use. So currently on the site, there are mechanic or automotive repair. However, the BBSP, as you know, is trying to move away from those types of uses. So if we were to allow like an engine repair facility to come into the building later on after Boat Pros leaves, a automotive repair facility could try to come in with a justification saying, hey, there was previous engine work being done, why can't I do this? its use. So to safeguard that, it was identified as a light industrial use with the potential to generate noise and dust and other nuisances.
Understood, but if I read the document correctly, BBSP, we're talking about the commercial, like light automotive repair, oil changes, that sort of thing would be classified more in the commercial realm than industrial because of the simplicity of tools and such that are used. I guess what I'm wondering is, it would, I'm just having a hard time finding how we reach light industrial. I understand what you said, and maybe just a disagreement, that's all.
Understood. And once more, just to safeguard from any potential nuisance that could come out of engine repair if it were to come in without the supervision of this commission. If it were bigger boats, if there was welding involved, like big welding jobs or big engine repair jobs. Once I spoke with the applicant, he ensured that the type of work being done isn't the kind that would cause a nuisance like those identified. But ultimately, it's to safeguard through your approval of a conditional use permit.
Yeah, understood. Thank you.
I don't have any questions at this time. Okay. Well, at this time, I will open up a public hearing. Public is permitted to address the Planning Commission. Remarks are limited to 5 minutes per person, except for the applicant, who will have 10. Does the applicant wish to address the commission? Please.
Hello, good evening. My name is Tanner Spahn. It's nice to see everybody here. Thanks for taking the time to meet with me. I didn't write anything down. I just wanted to come up in front of you guys and say that in the beginning, I had a vision of Boat Pros that we were going to be able to do a drop-off between 9 and 5. The more I see the school traffic and the traffic going on in front of Boat Pros, it seems to me that like normal business hours, 7 to 5, and with me being able to adjust my times would be better suited for us. And that's basically all I had to say, and introduce myself and say hello.
Oh, that's very nice of you. Okay. Well, Mr. Johnson, Commissioner Johnson, do you have any questions for the gentleman?
Excuse me. I just wanted to know about the, if there are going to be any fluid, like, oil changes, that sort of stuff with the engines.
Yes, there will be an oil change and maintenance, right? Would be draining from the outboard engines.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Spalding?
So I'm not clear on the request for the hour change. What are you asking for now?
If I could have it extended to from 7 to 5, our normal business hours of
For drop-off?
operation.
For drop-off
For drop-off and
pickup?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification. Commissioner Floyd?
About how many drop-off and pickups do you think you would do on an average day? It seems like those are pretty big, expensive boats, and it's not a lot.
1 to 2. 1 to 2 at the max, 2.
Okay, good. Commissioner Brent?
I read through the catalog quickly, and the boats you sell, they look great. I wish I had one. The largest boat was 22 feet, I think. Is that in basic size? I don't know if that includes the motor or not, but
that's a very big boat for the bass fishing. That's basically the top tier boat that Bass Cat carries. And yeah, that would be the biggest boat that you would see there.
Yeah, just for, a Suburban's about 19 feet long. So it's pretty, relatively close in terms of automotive. So that's all, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, Commissioner Spalding?
So I read the packet and then I looked it up. I could only find one other boat repair, and it looked like more of a storage place in Brentwood. I don't want to say the name because they're not on there.
Right, right.
Is that correct? But
Yes.
are they more of a storage?
There's more of a storage facility there, yes.
So today, if someone from Brentwood owns a boat, needs it repaired,
There's nowhere to go.
okay.
There's
Thank you.
nowhere to go, and we're definitely heavy into the fishing community.
Sure.
And bass fishing is also a sport. College, Liberty High School has their bass fishing team as well. And I've already had 3 or 4 students from Liberty come in looking for a job.
Okay, so today they take them to either
Modesto.
Modesto is where
Modesto's
to
the
be fixed?
closest, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. You know, when you said that, the first thing that came to mind with high school is, oh, so they might be doing some kind of true up with the young adults if they want to learn some kind of skill set.
Yes.
They could very well come into your shop and learn that.
Yes, I wish I would have found something like that at a younger age as well, because it's something that you're passionate about and you love to do it.
That's fantastic. Great, great. Okay, well, at this point in time, I will, I thank you.
Thank you guys for your time.
You're very welcome. And look to Miss April for anyone in Zoom.
First, we'll start here in person. I have no speaker cards for those that want to speak. Okay, let's go to Zoom. Anyone like to speak, please raise your hand. Chairperson Roberts, we have no hands raised.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, it's okay. Well, at this time, I will look for a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. All right. So let's have a discussion, commissioners. Commissioner Floyd?
Thank you, Chair Roberts. I don't have a lot of concerns here. This looks like a really nice business to replace a business that's closed. These look like high-end boats. Honestly, when I looked at them, I remember when I was in high school and my dad had a boat that was 16 foot with a 60 horsepower motor on it. And we later on, we got a bigger boat. It was 18 foot with an 85 horsepower motor on it, and that thing's pretty fast. So I'm looking at their website, and they have boats with 500 horsepower motors. And those things have to be terrifying in the very best way possible. So I think this is a nice looking business. I don't think that it's going to be any more disruptive than, say, that there's a tire store right across the way where they're using ear tools and taking tires off and on all day. So I don't have a lot of issues with this. It seems to fit. It fits the zoning. It's revitalizing a space that's empty, and I kind of like it. That's all I have.
Commissioner Brand?
Yeah, I love the idea of the sort of end-to-end cohesiveness. You can buy your boat, you can get it serviced all in one space. I think in terms, the reason I brought up the light industrial is I believe it's not a fair representation of what this business, I would classify it more as, general commercial, only in the sense that they're not using industrial type tools, they're using hand tools, stuff that you could probably fix your car on your driveway with. And in this case, it's, boats. But I understand the argument of staff. So I guess, it's not as significant, but yeah, it's great to see that they're able to do this and not potentially have to drive to Modesto. That seems far. I figured there'd be something in Disco Bay or something, but I guess not. Don't really have any issue with the hours. I can only imagine the traffic from Liberty when it gets out might be a little bit tricky. And yeah, it's a great unique business, I think. And I think Brentwood's happy to have it. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Johnson?
I don't have any questions at this time.
Commissioner Spaulding?
So the only thing with the hours is if we do approve the hours, just to make sure the applicant knows that a CUP can be called for review in case it does become a problem. It rarely happens, but just so you're aware. The other thing I'll just add is that it's been on the planning commission. This is end of my 4th year, and I don't think I can remember, in fact, I know it's true, where we've had the opportunity to vote on 2 unique businesses that are essentially new to Brentwood that diversify the economy, which we need more of in Brentwood. So I think this is a great project. Again, if we can bring revenue in from that today is going to other cities and maybe create a couple extra jobs as well, I think that's great. So certainly no other concerns with the land use. And I do agree. And one of the things, Commissioner Brand, the CUP follows, right? So that's why I think it's a good thing that I don't disagree with your assessment of it, but I think the strategy that staff used is important for moving forward in case Boat Pros were to get too big for the space and need more space and someone else follows. So thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to piggyback on what everyone said. I also am going to, I sense that it's going to become a very popular place because nearest place that folks will bring their repairs is kind of far out. I do know that the city of Brentwood has quite a few boat owners, so I know they'll be celebrating this as well. And so, yeah, I think it's great. And certainly any kind of interaction that might go on with any of our high schoolers, I think that's just amazing. I like the sound of that as well. You might need more space at some point, but for right now, I guess it works. So with that said, I will look for a motion.
I make a motion to adopt resolution 24-036, approving conditional use permit number 24-004, subject to certain findings and conditions, and also amending the hours of operations for drop-off to 7 to 5 p.m.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Congratulations. Very good. All right. Moving on to our last item. Brentwood Municipal Code Amendment to update Chapter 17.850, temporary use permits to add regulations related to long-term mobile vending facilities and commissaries. And we will have Ms. Hagan give us a staff report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair and members of the Commission. Tonight, we are considering an amendment to the city's municipal code to update Chapter 17.850, which is our temporary use chapter, to add regulations related to long-term mobile vending facilities and commissaries. As background, the amendments came forward through the city's update of our mobile vending ordinance, which is part of Chapter 5.68 of the municipal code. On February 27th of this year, the City Council considered new ordinances regulating sidewalk vending as well as mobile vending. At that time, the City Council provided direction to staff to work on additional amendments and regulations for long-term mobile vending facilities that may be considered as part of the Focus Zoning Code update as part of Title 17, also known as our zoning ordinance. Specifically, the code at the time, the code referring to Chapter 5.68 at the time proposed a time limit on the number of hours and days in a week in which a mobile vending facility could be located at any specific location in the city. The City Council requested a way in which applicants could request to stay for longer periods of time than allowed within Chapter 5.68. On March 12th of this year, the City Council adopted only the sidewalk vending ordinance and continued the mobile vending ordinance to a further time. And then on May 29th, the Land Use and Development Committee provided direction on regulations for Chapter 17.85 for temporary uses to allow a process for mobile vending facilities to operate for longer timeframes than proposed in Chapter 5.68. The City Council and LUD believed that operational characteristics of long-term mobile vendors and commissaries are different than vendors that move regularly. Based on the unique operating characteristics, a new approval process and new regulations for these operations are proposed to be incorporated into our zoning ordinance. Aspects of Chapter 5.68 would still apply, but new zoning regulations would create additional land use regulations and standards applicable only to long-term mobile vending facilities and commissaries. The TUPs would be approved for a maximum of 12 months at a time from the approval date and would require a major TUP upon initial submittal and a minor TUP for subsequent renewals. Long-term mobile vending facilities are defined as those that operate as a long-term, not short-term basis, and that are allowed by the underlying non-residential zoning district, as well as being ancillary use to the primary use on the property. As proposed, the new amendments would allow their operation if they abide by additional setback requirements, parking requirements, seating requirements, utility requirements, and accessibility requirements as outlined in the proposed amendments. Commissaries are defined as food facilities that service mobile vending facilities, mobile support units, or vending machines where any of the following occur. 1 would be food containers or supplies are stored. 2, where food is prepared or packaged for sale or service at other locations. 3, where utensils are cleaned. Or 4, liquid and solid waste are disposed or potable water is obtained. As proposed, the new amendments would allow for operations if they abide by being owner-operator, they have a maximum of 2 mobile vending facilities per site, they have additional parking requirements, as well as getting county approvals. And with that, staff is recommending that the Planning Commission adopt Resolution 24-035, recommending that the City Council adopt an ordinance to amend Brentwood Municipal Code Chapter 17.850 for temporary use permits to add regulations related to long-term mobile vending facilities and commissaries. And that concludes staff's report. Staff is available for any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions for, any questions? Commissioner Floyd?
No questions at this time. Thank you.
Commissioner Brand?
Nothing.
Commissioner Johnson?
Ditto. Nothing.
Commissioner Spaulding?
No questions at this time.
And neither for myself. So at this time, thank you very much, Ms. Hagan. We will go ahead and open up for a public hearing. See, I've lost my place here. Let's see. Okay, at this time, the public is permitted to address the Planning Commission. Remarks are limited to 5 minutes per person. We've received, well, at this point, is the applicant present?
Through the chair.
City, pardon me. That's right. So, at this time, the public is permitted, and the city has received 0 public comments regarding this item that were sent via email or otherwise for our consideration. Copies of these comments would be made available on the city's website on the meeting information page.
Chairperson Roberts, we have 2 speaker cards on this item. For those that would like to speak in Zoom, please start to raise your hand now. Our first speaker is Perez.
Hello all. My name is Zaira Perez, and I'm resident of here of City of Brentwood. And I started my food truck business. I'm a single mom who started her business. This food truck, it was my dream. I've been working so hard for too many years. To build a food truck, sometimes we think that's an easy thing to bring it up. It's not easy. We have to go through California state codes. We have to follow not only California state, we have to follow also the county. We have to follow the county health department codes. We have to pay insurance. We have to follow the city codes also. I started my food truck, it's brand new. I spent all my savings on this dream. And I want to ask you to give us, who has a motorized food truck, the same opportunity who owns a food trailer to park in a private parking lot on the private place. I'm asking you to give me the opportunity. Like I said, this is my All my savings is in there. I'm doing everything what I can to support my family. That's how I pay my bills. And that's the reason why I'm here.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Next, we have Danny Dorman.
All right, let me first start by saying I have no skin in this game. All right. And it's funny when Chairperson Roberts, you asked if the applicant would wish to speak. Honestly, I laughed. I thought it was going to be the chamber that came up here and spoke on behalf of the applicant. Commissioner Johnson, I like you, dude. I think you're a stand-up cat, but you were two-time president of the Chamber of Commerce. And I think just the appearance of voting on something that is, in my mind, not in the best interest of the Chamber of Commerce might not be a good look, especially if you're running for mayor. So I would urge you to pull out.
Is it off topic?
No, this has to do with the vending.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I'm going back to the chamber.
Okay.
Yeah. They're intertwined. Play to play. What do these vendors have in common? They're not part of the chamber. And the chamber's not getting any money. This thing, I don't know if you know, I was watching the way it was presented. It looked like this was a new item back in 2020. This was enacted in 1995, back when these were called roach coaches. 30 years, 25, seemed to be no problem. And we talk endlessly about bringing in money. We talk endlessly about better in Brentwood. We talk endlessly about minority-owned businesses. That's the whole thing, though. We talk. Like I said, I have no skin in this game. Honestly, I don't even go to the trucks. And then I see a couple of whereases here. The big one to me, whereas vehicles that produce, prepare, blah, 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 pose a special danger to the public health, safety, and welfare of children. You know who else does that? The ice cream man. The ice cream truck goes rolling up and down the street, and apparently now they're a danger to the health and safety of children. Never mind the fact that when we have, approved days, we have the streets lined up, and yes, we do block them off, but based upon what I saw in this whereas, it's still a danger to the health and welfare. You can't have it both ways. I know this is an exercise in futility. I'm sure you've all made up your minds. I feel sorry for those, just like the young lady who was up here, who tried to express the best she could what's going on. She's a small business owner. If you look at it bare bones, she's competition. And maybe that's the problem with some of these restaurants. They don't like the competition. And if we're gonna sit here and bemoan how, oh, woe is me, we have to put in a fast food restaurant because we need the money, but we're going to ignore people who literally slave, trying to eke out a living, just because they're not giving money to the chamber. I think that's deplorable. As I said, though, I'm sure it's already made up, which is too bad. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
We'll go to Zoom. So those of you that like to speak, please raise your hand now. Chairperson Roberts, we have no hands raised.
Okay, it's wonderful. All right then. Well, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Planning commissioners, let's have a conversation about this. Commissioner Johnson.
This time about this issue.
Okay, very good. Commissioner Spaulding?
Yeah, I'll say maybe some comments for after I hear from the other commissioners, but I just have a question for Jennifer. So the goal of this is actually to make sure that we have standards for this, correct?
That is correct.
For the 3 different types, right?
So
Temporary, I think.
Chapter 5.68, which will go before the city council, is going to be updating our current standards, bringing them into modern times. They have not been updated in a long time. The part that is before you is to allow businesses who don't meet every single standard within that ordinance to have a secondary option. They can apply for a temporary use permit in which we would set then an additional set of standards and regulations for those businesses who want to, in this case, be in a location longer than we are going to establish in the proposed permanent ordinance. So it's an additional outlet to allow additional opportunities above and beyond what would be within our Chapter 5 section of the code.
So in theory, then the goal of this is to actually make it easier or more
Correct.
mobile.
We are allowing the option for additional outlets and additional options for people who don't necessarily fit in the cookie cutter box that is going to be established in Chapter 5, and allow an additional outlet that is not as an extensive as a conditional use permit, that's more on a temporary basis year to year.
Thank you.
Commissioner Floyd?
Okay, mindful of the public comment we just took. When I was reading this, and as I was understanding it, and from having seen some of the city council discussion of this, but not the LUD discussion, I thought that the purpose of this was to provide an opportunity, provide certainty, to make it a little easier for people that had food trucks to get on with their business and not spend so much time chasing
Code.
permissions. Yeah. So I see this as a good thing. I think the first public speaker was asking us to go ahead and approve it. As far as the specifics, I haven't seen what LUD asked for. I'm assuming that what was provided is what LUD was asking. I know Chair Roberts is on LUD, so we'd be able to address that more directly. But I mean, a food truck can be a permanent thing. I used to live in Oakland for several years, and there was a taco truck, if you want to even call it that. It was pretty fancy for a truck, but there was a taco truck at 14th and International, just off the hook good and affordable, and a great place to stop and have a burrito. And it was always there. So I don't know if 1 year max means it cannot be re-upped. Can I ask that, Jennifer?
You just have to reapply. So the way we've established it is the way the current code is proposed is your initial TUP application would be considered a major TUP, which costs a little bit more. But you could apply then for subsequent renewals, and each subsequent renewal would be at a minor TUP cost. So the initial legwork of reviewing it and staff time would be the major TUP, and subsequent renewals, and there's no limit on the renewals, you just have to do it each year, would be a minor TUP.
Well, that doesn't sound particularly burdensome to me. So I don't think I really have any concerns with this. That's my discussion.
Commissioner Brand?
Yeah, I mean, the way I read this was that it effectively legitimizes businesses that might be sort of on the edges of what is currently defined, and it gives them an avenue to not only receive, but also re-up a TUP, as you described, Jennifer. Sounding very similar to like registering your car in California. It sounds relatively, it's a little bit complicated at first, and then after a while, you just send in the money. So I'm happy to hear that. I think about the variety of these businesses that we have in Brentwood. I can think of one in particular, the woman that sells strawberries on Grant and O'Hara. They're excellent. It'd be great to enable her to continue to do business there. Yeah, other than that, I see this, no qualms that I can think of here. Thank you.
Thank you. So I must be missing something. Am I missing something? Because this is supposed to be a good thing for Brentwood.
It is.
But I'm wondering, are there some fees that all of a sudden are going to pop up for folks to be able to actually, what's different? I understand that we've got temporary and we've got long-term. And I really am very excited about the industrial areas where folks can actually take their business and provide a service for folks that are otherwise kind of away from restaurants or places where they can go and actually get a lunch. But are there something was said that registered with me about fees. Are there going to be additional fees on top of what folks are already paying to the city, the county?
Yeah, so I can answer if you'd like.
Oh, yeah.
I can provide you a very brief answer. Chapter 5, which is not on the agenda tonight, does cover a new approval process for mobile vendors in the city. Since it's not part of this agenda item, I can just go into just brief high level, but yes, that portion, Chapter 5, will include a new application process and a new review process that will go hand in hand with the city's business certificate. So that part of it will have a new additional fee. The temporary use permit application, which is before you tonight, if you don't fit in that and you wanted to stay above and beyond, then that would be an additional fee. It would be a fee up front. The major TUP is a little heftier fee, but then the renewal fee is about $75 a year.
Okay, and so a person can go back and forth as often as long as they're compliant with the temporary, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that initial piece might be heavy, but the renewals are coming in at a very low end. And the only reason I'm asking is because I heard the young lady come before us, and I don't know, we're not in the business of making it comfortable for folks, but I am sensitive to business, and making it exclusive is something that I don't want to get involved in. So when I say involved in, I don't want for us to be putting fees on something that would ordinarily not be there. This thing was back in 1995, and here we are in 2024, and it's not reachable for certain people. That would seem like then we are not being inclusive. So I'm being mindful, and I guess City Council will take that up.
Correct.
So that was something that just hit me. That being said, that's all I have.
Can I ask a couple of follow-up questions? You got me.
Yeah, I got you thinking now, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
A little bit. Can you just explain to me, so these, on the permits, these are not, if someone wants to set up in a parking lot, we're not going to see these as a planning commission, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Secondly, how do they fit in? So we had a long meeting last month, and it was about the Brentwood, a project on Brentwood Boulevard, right? How do these have to fit into those areas that have specific plans, or maybe possibly could be in violation of the general plan? How does that work? with these?
These would be allowed in all commercial properties. So the underlying zoning, as long as it is commercial in nature, it would be allowed. Specific plan, straight zone, PD, as long as it's commercial use. They would not be permitted on vacant properties, so it would have to be a property that has a primary use. So they would be parking typically on a paved parking lot. And then they would have to be parked in a spot that is excess parking. So if a site is underparked, we would not approve a TUP for parking at that location, unless as part of the TUP, their business hours were outside of the normal operating hours. So if we did get a TUP that said, I want to be there from 5 to 9 in an office complex, and we had owner authorization and the office uses are from 8 to 5, that would be something that we could consider as part of the TUP process. But those are just the general parameters. It'd be a commercial property. It would have to be a property that already has an established use and isn't outside of normal parking, restricted parking.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? Okay, well, at this time, I will close public comment. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Through the chair, I believe we already closed the public hearing.
Oh, it's just a discussion. Okay, very good. Well, at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. I make a motion to adopt resolution number 24-035, recommending that the City Council adopt an ordinance to amend the Brentwood Municipal Code, Chapter 17.850, to add regulations related to long-term mobile vending facilities and commissaries.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Thank you so much for participating. At this time, I'm going to move into informational reports for committees and upcoming meetings. Transplan?
No August meeting.
Okay. Design review.
We had a meeting last Thursday. There was a split decision, so the matter will be coming forward to the full commission.
Okay, very good. And Land Use Development Committee, we have not had one this month yet, but I'll have something for you at our next meeting.
Chair Roberts?
Yes.
Real quick, I think we talked about adding the Municipal Code Committee to this list, only because we do have myself on that. So maybe for next meeting, the 17th?
Yeah, we can do that, and then you can provide your update at that time.
Yeah, great.
Perfect, thank you.
Great, thanks for that. A new request. Any future agenda items? Commissioner Johnson?
None.
Commissioner Spaulding? Commissioner Floyd? Commissioner Brand? I do. So the general plan, it looks like it's coming up on being outdated. This looks like July 22nd, 2014. Isn't it 10 years?
Yeah, we just passed the 10-year mark, actually.
Yeah. So when will we be coalescing to start moving on a new general plan? Do you know? Is that, how does that, I'd like to have a conversation about that. If we could get that on the agenda, just to, well, I know council's involved, but planning's involved as well.
There's a lot that goes into a project like that in terms of, budgeting and, workload and the actual work program. What I could do is probably send the commission an email with kind of an update in terms of where things stand currently.
Okay.
And then if that suffices, great. If not, and you'd like to discuss it further, we can bring it back as a discussion item.
Thank
that work?
you. That works.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay. And that being said, I look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next regular Planning Commission meeting is scheduled for September 17th, 2024 at 7 p.m. and will be held here at Council Chambers, located at 150 City Park Way. Have a good evening.